Going over to question 11 now. Which choice effectively uses data from the graph to illustrate the claim? So, what is the claim? High levels of public uncertainty about which economic policies a country will adopt can make planning difficult for businesses, but measures of such uncertainty have not tended to be very detailed. Recently, this economist analyzed trends and news reports to derive measures not only for general economic policy uncertainty, but also for uncertainty related to specific areas of economic policy, like tax or trade policy. One revelation of her work is that a general measure may not fully reflect uncertainty about specific areas of policy, as in the case of the UK, where general economic policy uncertainty did what? So a lot of complicated stuff in there. But the point at the end is a little more clear. We're seeing that a general measure may not fully reflect uncertainty about specific areas of policy. Now, looking at the graph, we have the general, which is this box right here, and we have the two specific areas of policy, which are those two. And what we're looking for is the idea that the general may not fully reflect, it may not match the specific ones. And so looking at the graph, where do we see that? Well, right around here, we see the general very high, and trade was below it, and taxes were above it. But right over here, we see the general low, and taxes are about equal, but trade is way higher. And so we see a differing relationship as far as how the general bar matches up with the other two. So the general bar is about this high at every point, and it's not in line, consistently in line with the other two bars, sometimes higher, sometimes lower. So let's see which answer matches that. A says general uncertainty aligned closely with tax and public policy in 2005. Is that true? Well, general is close to tax and public policy right there. Those two are about the same height. But it differed from uncertainty about tax and public spending in 2009. Is it differing in 2009 from tax and public spending? No, it's actually right in line. The darkest bar there, which is the general policy, is right in line with the other two. So we found something we don't like about A. The claim at the end was kind of wrong there. Looking at B, general was lower than tax and public spending each year. Was general always lower? In a lot of years it was, but this is a year where it was very clearly higher. So we can't say it was always lower. C, general, let's erase these. General reached its highest level between 2005 and 2010 in the same year that uncertainty about trade and tax and public spending reached their lowest level. So general is at its highest level right here, and tax and public spending is not at its lowest level. So C is just inaccurate. So it's got to be D. Let's see. D says general was lower than trade policy in 2005. So here's general and here's trade. So general is lower than trade in 2005 and higher than trade in 2010. So here, general is right here in 2010 and trade is down there. So those are both right. General is lower than trade in 05 and higher than trade in 2010. So that works. And the answer here is D.